It's Charla from Freezer Meals 101, and today I'm showing you what I got on my grocery haul for our freezer meals, and also just walking through some of the prep with you. So I started unpacking from my big grocery shop this morning, and once I start pulling things out of my cupboards, because of course I always like to do an inventory of what I already have before I make my list for freezer meal shopping. And so once I start pulling those out, then I'll make sections or stations I should say, where it's like everything you need for one recipe is all grouped together, because that saves tons of time. Then we don't have to go looking for things. But for now, I'm just kind of grouping into categories. So I've got like black beans and then chili style beans, so like bean section. And then over here, I've got tomato-like things. So crushed tomatoes, some diced tomatoes with red pepper, and then tomato sauce, like pasta sauces. And then I've got the pasta there, and salsas with the green chilies, so kind of Mexican station. And so I'm just grouping it like that for now. So we've got our General Tso sauce with the sliced water chestnuts behind, because I know that goes in the same recipe. So this is what I grabbed this morning. Lots of black beans, some chili style beans, some pineapple juice and orange juice that we need for recipes. We need those sesame seeds, Dijon mustard. We need quite a bit of this because it goes in more than one recipe. We've got a case of kernel corn. Then over here we've got cream of chicken soups. Those are going into a new recipe that we're trying. These Asian sesame dressings are going into a great chicken recipe that you will love. Got our cream style corn. That should actually be over with the kernel corn, of course, and that's going into our corn chowder. And we've got some olive oil, our beef broth. Christy's got the chicken broth on her list. So she does the Costco and Bulk Barn shopping, and I do the Save On Foods shopping. So this is actually only about half of the non-perishable items that we're going to be using for our freezer meal session this weekend. We've got these sliced black olives. Those go in the Spanish rice. We've got, let me try to do this. Someone in my freezer meal group on Facebook taught me how to say this because I can't say it in my other videos. So I'm gonna try. Worcestershire. I think that's right. No. Worcestershire, maybe. Okay, I was closer. Anyway, I'm gonna get it one of these days. And then the capers and pitted Kalamata olives are going into a Mediterranean chicken. And then here is a great example of how, if you're doing freezer meals with a friend and they don't have the exact same taste that your family does, that you can still make it work and use the same recipes. So Christy's family likes things milder, so we've got the mild curry paste for her family and then the spicy curry paste for our family. And the way we do that is we always have my bags on the right and her bags on the left, so we always know whose are whose while we're assembling, and then we know which ones to put in the cooler at the front for her and which ones go in my freezer. So we've got pizza sauce and some pesto, and then like I said, this is the kind of station for the tomatoes. Now Christy is getting all the tomato paste, tomato sauce, and something else tomato-like. So there will be a lot more tomato-ish things. Then we've got our pasta and some brown and wild rice. So these are our non-perishables so far. Like I said, I still have the things in my cupboards, and Christy is still going to do the Costco run. So that's where we're at. Now we're going to brown our ground beef, and this time I'm going to try it in the roasting oven. So let's head over there and get that started. Now normally when we do freezer meals, Christy browns her ground beef at her house and I brown ours here, and the reason for that is she buys hers at Costco when she does her Costco run. I buy mine at Save On, and I buy a lot less because I use veggie beef for most of my recipes instead of beef or in place of beef. So I'm usually browning a really small amount. This time two reasons I'm doing all of our beef at my place. One is there was this amazing sale on ground beef at Save On. So I went and got all of the beef because it just made sense, like financially, to brown, like to get it at Save On as opposed to at Save On and Costco. And also this time I'm doing a lot more of my recipes with actual ground beef because my husband is keto right now, and so he's needing to have actual meat. And so anyway, for those reasons, I've decided to brown all of the beef all together at my place, and then yeah, it will be done. And Christy does lots of the other prep at her house too. Like she does the onions. I don't know if you guys checked out the onion recipe for how she does like so many onions. She's doing 45 onions this time. So I'm hoping that it works in the roaster oven. It might fill this whole thing. We'll see. If you are new to this channel, you might not know that my spatial concepts are not the best. So I thought that it would like not quite fill, it might fill half of this giant roasting oven. But as you can see, 30 pounds fills the whole thing. So we've got our 30 pounds of ground beef in there. It's just lean ground beef. And I'm going to take the mix-in masher and give that a good mix so that it starts to separate. And I've got it turned to 350. I might have to adjust that depending on how it goes, but we will just get started here. So note to self, next time you want to brown 30 pounds of ground beef, do it when one of your sons is home so they can stir it because it's heavy. So anyway, it browns really quickly on the sides, so you have to make sure to like scrape it off the sides, especially down near the bottom, so you don't want anything to burn, of course. The first spoon I used was like a plasticky spoon, and it wasn't strong enough to do the ground beef. And even this one, it's metal, but it's kind of seeming flimsy under these 30 pounds. So anyway, that's just for future reference. I might do this when one of my strong sons is home and they can help me with stirring. So I had planned to do some more prep today, but full disclosure, the day it didn't go exactly how I expected it to. Our rabbit died, so we're going to have a rabbit funeral, and it's going to be sad for some of my kids. So I am not going to finish prep today, but I am going to take this and drain it and get it put away, and then I will continue my prep tomorrow because we're not doing freezer meals till the weekend. So thanks for joining me today, and happy cooking, guys.